Hey guys, Deathloader Magic here with an interesting story coming out of Wizards of the Coast. They finally did something that most people would say is positive. I can't really complain about this. So weeks ago, they said they're going to be changing some upcoming products to have less plastic in them. And I thought, okay, cool. It's probably, some kind of self-serving money cost-cutting thing because, well, corporate America. And trust me, in the last 10 years, there's been a lot of stuff where they're like, we're doing this for the environment, and really they're just saving money. But the tree huggers over at Wizards of the Coast decided to listen to a tiny minority of people on Twitter who probably aren't even their customers when they say, hey, there's a lot of plastic in your stuff, like needlessly. Yeah, when you have paper goods and you want to protect them, you put them in something that isn't susceptible to any of the stuff that they are, like plastic. Some things just have to be wrapped in plastic unless you just want 10% of all inventory in the world to show up broken or damaged, which would be kind of wasteful and damaging to the environment, just saying. But for some things, you gotta wonder, why don't they just use some waxed paper? Wax paper is the solution to all of your problems. So I haven't actually read this article yet, but on April 8th, Wizards announced that for Commander 2021, they are making some product packaging changes, and this is not the direction I thought they would go. Let's just start out by throwing that one out there. This is actually really wild. So this is the first product to show off the changes. So they say there are two clear differences in the new packaging. Oh, and also there's now two versions of it. In stores, you'll find the beautiful full color packaging showing off one of the new commanders for each college's deck. The card in double quotes that you see on the front, like facing outward, that's not a card. It's the image of the card printed directly on the packaging. How wild is that? So this graphic that's somehow directly printed on the packaging, it's printed with a foil effect, but without a plastic lining. So even though it looks foil, it's still recyclable. I've got to see this just to see this. I'm going to pick up one and do a quick video on it if I can and if I have the money. So the bottom of the package features a paper zip pull to open it, which can't really be re-secured. Now, if you remember, the paper packaging for MM2 was a disaster because it was just folded kind of cardstock, I guess. Really thick, like semi-cardboard paper, but not corrugated, obviously, and glue. And it was like ultra thick, like polymer, kind of dries into a rubber glue, almost like a rubber cement, but thicker. So you could knife it or melt it, open it, and then swap out the cards and then reseal it with heat. And it would absolutely 100% flawlessly look like it was factory sealed. You could not tell the difference. So these paper zip things are actually kind of nice because if you haven't seen them, you can't put them back into place. You effectively rip it to get it open, and then I think it's like double thicker as glue or something to reinforce it. Normally it would be a plastic strip, but I don't think they went that far. So hopefully this isn't like an issue, but then again, every single product contains exactly the same cards. So are you going to fool somebody with a reseal? No, but what if you just put in 99 lands and resealed it? So, just saying, I hope they really took their time designing this paper zip pull. My feeling is they did. They're not that hard to make. So they say the inside reveals a recyclable deck box and a packaging tray. There is no longer a plastic tray. This new tray that's, I assume, made out of paper, features several punch-out counters. Nice, because, if you're going to make, a paper thing, you might as well make use of it. And they say they're blank. They can denote anything. So all they really did was stamp, like, a perforation in it, which is really, really easy. So they're taking just, okay, we had to change the materials, whatever, and flipping it to, like, well, we might as well give you something out of it. So whether, you keep them or use them or not, I think they're handy. And I think it was smart to change the materials and then because you changed it, to turn that into part of the product. Even in the most minor way. Some of you might be like, oh, I don't use paper counters. I'll use, dice or food or something. Yeah, but you could, and they're blank. So, hey. In addition to the punch-out counters, they also have a divider for inside the deck box. Not really needed for Commander. Most people immediately switch to a better deck box, but okay. And, you never know. You might have a fake sideboard or whatever. So the deck box itself is smaller, and you'll see why in a second, and easier to transport than before, similar to the deck boxes that you'd find in the pre-release kits, but large enough to hold the entire Commander deck. boy, I hope they made it thicker because those are already really flimsy. So if you scale that up to 100, it's going to be the worst deck box ever. But even after you sleeve the cards, it's supposed to fit it. So it is large. Then they say it also includes double-sided tokens for the deck, which is nice, a life wheel, okay, and a replacement for the oversized foil cards from Commander releases in the past. So in other words, the, quote, big card, the one that's on the front of the display. I guess what they're implying is that it is no longer a bigger than normal card, which I know a lot of people are going to like and a lot of people are going to not like. Remember, with the Commander products in the past, you would get the big one in case you wanted to like show it off or you wanted to like, you know, put that into play, but then it wasn't legal. It was worth like 1/100th as much. And you also got a copy of the real card in the correct size. So this time they say, okay, you're getting a display commander and then you're also getting the real one, but the display commander is merely on a thicker card stock and is, of course, still not tournament legal. They're not just going to give you 2 copies of the front card. But they want to remind you, it does still allow you to show off your commander and carry it inside the deck box. So heavily implying it's close to normal size, they just put it on way thicker paper, which is kind of cool. It definitely denotes it, but it's like, why would you have the thick dummy fake one and then the exact same size real one? Just use the real one. So I don't know. I have a feeling this is what they call a phased transition where they didn't want to shock people too much and will be kissing the display card goodbye very shortly after. I bet it'll be gone by 2022. Now, this is where it gets wild, okay? If you aren't near a local game store and shop online for upcoming Magic releases, you may instead find a, quote, minimal packaging version of the deck. While it doesn't feature the beautiful look of the typical retail packaging, instead, using a corrugated cardboard box to contain the product, it delivers almost everything the same way, using even less materials and space. The only difference between the minimal packaging and retail versions are that the insert tray holding the deck box does not offer punch-out counters in a divider. You'll still receive everything else. The deck box, the deck, the life wheel, the display commander, and the double-sided tokens. So then they just leave it at that, and people are like, oh, okay, you know, it's online. You're basically getting the OEM non-retail, not made for, or not packaged for retail sale version. Like, it's not like we haven't seen that. I mean, you ever order a hard drive? Yeah, it's brown cardboard, less painting, doesn't look fancy on the shelf, it's just bulk. Okay, I mean, we've all seen it. But just remember that if you're trying to buy it online and sell it retail, which is not a very good business model, it's not going to look very good. It looks kind of like a secret lair. Well, I'm sure I showed a picture of it in the thumbnail. Yeah, it's just a cardboard box. They're just saving on ink with that one and saving on price. So here's the thing. They're now acknowledging that some people that they send it to are just going to flip it online. So they're somehow going to make sure that the biggest online resellers get that version, I guess, unless it's just for they themselves to send to Amazon and that's all they're talking about. But they pretty much said like any online seller, or at least kind of implied that. Once again, you got to draw your own damn conclusions. These stupid press release article things are so ridiculously vague. They never answer the important questions and it drives me nuts. But yeah, if they're going to acknowledge that like Card Kingdom might clear like 10,000 of these online, then maybe they should, you know, do something about the damage that they're doing to the retail space by doing that. Because remember, way, way, way back in the day, we're talking 10 plus years ago, they used to have this thing called the like Wizards Online Authorized Seller whatever program. And you had to like put it in the bottom of your eBay listing. You had to put what terms you're following. You had to follow the terms. You had to like not ship out a country. They had all these restrictions, but it wasn't too bad. But I thought I heard, because I was never in this, I was just, you know, I got in right after they got rid of it, or I was just lying about it the whole time and then they got rid of it. There might have been some overlap there. Don't care. Everybody else was lying too. There's this thing in America called the first sale doctrine, so you can authorize online sell these nuts, Wizards. It's just they're a private company. They're well within the right to have their distributor cut me off and never sell me anything again. So there's that too. But I mean, for the first couple of years, every single thing I sold online was we opened it up and sold them as singles. So I actually wasn't in violation of anything. But I think what I heard was that to sell stuff online, you had to have like 75% or 51% or something like that of your sales occur in a physical store. You couldn't go like 5% local, 95% online, because they didn't want somebody just getting 5,000 boxes of whatever and clearing them all. because they know that at that volume you would damage the price, especially if your name is Sports and More, because that's what they did. They ruined iconic Masters, and they almost single-handedly ruined Masters 25. At the volumes they were selling, they did so much damage to the price and the value of that product. I'm glad they're gone, and I hope Wizards sued them. Actually, with how much money they cost me, personally, by what they did by ruining those products, I hope the owners are dead. We all know they were a distributor using a store as a front, right? Like that's not news to everybody, hopefully, but anyway. So they went from, we have to authorize you and it couldn't be more than a certain percentage, or at least that's what I heard. This was very, very early on in Magic, like 2012-ish. To then they got rid of that. To then they just said, okay, total free-for-all. And now they've rolled it back a little bit. They're kind of going WPN only by getting rid of ACD, but that was like a whole other thing. I hope ACD wins their lawsuit if it's not already over. So I thought, okay, maybe they're going with some price controls. I would assume somehow got rid of some problem sellers online that were making $3 a box and they just didn't care. And then driving down the price for everybody else and killing products, like entire product launches. To now they're just like, yeah, we're going to have like the online version. We're going to sell it to the people that we knowingly acknowledge just move these products online. Well, that's a bit of a step in an unusual direction for them. But then again, I mean, remember, they just decided to themselves jump on Amazon and sell some of their products directly competing with the stores. So to say they just decided to stop giving a shit about online sales in any way or slowing them down at all would be an understatement. I mean, they're like undercutting their big partners at this point, like Card Kingdom and Channel Fireball, who now have to like undercut them on Amazon by $1. Oh, it's really something. Wizards went just bargain, bottom of the barrel, 21st century, everything's on the internet anyway. Who cares about the local stores, secret lairs, direct ship from us? I mean, we know what they did. This ain't news. Like, this isn't even a surprise. But you know what is a surprise? How good the prices are at Grey Viking Games. Just to close this video out, they're a website that sells codes, like old codes, new codes, rare codes and all that stuff for Arena. So you want to unlock, some sleeves from a secret lair? Just go get the code there. Last time I tried to buy codes on eBay, the seller was a scammer and the codes didn't work and then they wouldn't respond to me and I had to have eBay come in and basically kick them off the website. Don't piss off people with 15-year-old accounts and over 4,000 feedback. It's not a good idea. eBay will take our side 100% of the time. But yeah, you want to avoid that drama and honestly pay a better price. Grey Viking Games. Link in the description. They are sponsoring this video. And hey, the codes are digital delivery, so they don't use paper or plastic. Wow, what an amazing product. And also the owner's actually really nice. So, yeah, stick it to Jeff Bezos and go shop at Grey Viking Games and support independent business owners. Yeah, take that, Lex Luthor looking bastard. So anyway, let me know what you think about all this Commander changes. Do you even keep the outer packaging? I bet 99% of people are going to say no because it doesn't look right without the card in it. Are you worried about repacks? Have you heard any other details about these being repack sensitive? Do you just not get excited by a plain box with black ink on it and that's it? And that ruins the whole experience to you? Or the number one thing I want to hear about is, do you care about no longer getting an oversized card? I thought they were like really cool and I wanted them, but they're also really clunky and they were easy to damage. So I'm on the fence. I mean, I just think oversized or miniature things are just like kind of cool because it's just so far off the beaten path. It's just a cool thing to have. But I could take it or leave it. And they do have like, I guess like a double or triple thick version that's like the illegal version anyway. So you're still getting something. In my opinion, they should have went full irony and had it be like a custom plastic molded version that they direct printed on, but it's also like 3D, like bas relief. Like a molded, like a custom 3D model of the Commander made out of solid plastic. Or like a vinyl, make it like a pop figure, but obviously like flat, but like a 1/4 inch, so you could get the 3D, all the grooves and the textures in it. I mean, I've seen cards like that made out of plastic or just like molded, stuff like that. You could run it over with a car and it'll still be fine. So, I mean, it would have been unbelievably hypocritical and ironic, but it would have been hilarious. So let me know what you think about that and all other things relevant to the story. Check out Grey Viking Games, and I'll see you guys next video.